So Matt Goodwin, very famously, lost the by-election in Gorton and Denton. Now, if you lost an election, what would you do? Most people go back, see their family, reflect on why they may have lost, think about how they can improve going forward and move on with their lives. Matt Goodwin is now releasing a book, another book. Off the back of that defeat, he is releasing a book, which to me shows the ambition of the man, I guess, if you want to look at it positively, but also he's just career driven. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this official trailer, announcement video for Matt Goodwin's new book and see what it's going to be about. It's called Suicide of a Nation. Yeah. So let's watch him talk about his new book, shall we?
Millions of people in the United Kingdom now share the same feeling. It's overwhelming, it's unavoidable, it's a feeling we'd rather ignore, yet we know we can't. It can be described in just 5 words. We are losing our country. You walk down the street and you feel like a foreigner in the place where you were born. You move through your cities, your towns, your villages, and yet you no longer recognize them. You hear languages that are not your own. You pass symbols, behaviors, and cultures that were not here before.
Right, so off the bat, yes, high streets, towns, villages, they're not the same as they used to be. We've seen massive amount of degradation in high street shops, a lot more empty units, a lot more betting shops and charity shops. Coffee shops seems to do okay, but less diversity of what's available on the high street. They just look a bit more run down, essentially. And we could have implemented laws that would help independent businesses and keep them in a position where they can thrive, but instead we're just quite happy for huge corporations to take all of the consumer wealth and destroy the high street. That's a decision we've made. It's true that you do hear other languages. From where I'm from, we've got quite a big Eastern European demographic, so I hear Polish and Bulgarian and Romanian quite regularly. It's never bothered me. Doesn't really change my life in any significant way. But apparently that's a sign that we're losing our country and it's something that needs rectifying, which I'm not entirely sure what he's referring to there. But I guess we will carry on with this and see what they have to say, I guess.
Country of your childhood, the country described by your parents and your grandparents, no longer lies before you. It exists now only in old films, fading books and nostalgia reels on social media. Suddenly, the country that you search for, the country that you yearn for, the country you thought you would carry with you forever, is nowhere to be seen.
Ah, yes, of course. The fantastic country of, World War II Britain, when we were getting bombed and people were living on rations. Ah, yes, I do yearn for those days, of course. Or even post-World War II, where we had racial inequality and we had sexism. Ah, yes, we need to go back to the 50s and 60s. Yes, it was a better time. No, socially, it was a worse time. I would consider taking some of the economic principles of that time, though. Nationalisation of electric and water companies, for example. Bigger tax on the ultra-wealthy. There are some positives we can take from the past. But it seems like the things that would impact us in a positive way, Matt Goodwin isn't interested in. But the social aspect, the white nation with strong leaders like Winston Churchill, that's what he wants to bring back. And for me, there's no worth in doing that. I don't see the positives to having a white nation. Just same as I wouldn't see a positive in having an all-black nation either. The racial nature and demographic of the makeup of a country means very little to nothing in my eyes, but apparently it's worth writing a book about.
It feels as though, without warning, it slipped away before your eyes. You haven't left your country, and yet you cannot shake the feeling that your country has left you.
Yeah, we're on the same side, bro. No, we're not. Yes, we are, bro.
This is why I wrote my new book, Suicide of a Nation, because the truth is simple and painful. Britain is being transformed quietly, rapidly, and irreversibly without your permission. And it's not just me who feels this way.
Notice how the images that are being used, when it shows that the demographics are changing and that in 40 years we could potentially live in a, white minority Britain, which, yes, I do think that legal immigration should be reduced and illegal immigration shouldn't obviously exist. You should have legal routes to be able to get here. And we do need to reduce the amount of immigrants that we're taking in until we've got better infrastructure in terms of housing and, key water and electricity needs to be renationalised so that the profits taken out of it so that we can have a more sustainable public economy. But the images he's using is non-white people. Here's a picture of what looks like a extremist, probably likely to be a terrorist from this picture, with an AK-47 tattooed on his face. It's like, these are the people that are coming in. I'm like, they go through an asylum seeker process. I do not think that active terrorists would be able to get through that process. The majority of them coming over are either fleeing persecution from Sudan, Syria, Afghanistan, Palestine, or if they are coming from other countries, they're coming over as economic migrants because they believe they can earn more money here than they could in their home countries, and live a better life and bring their family over. It must be a tiny percentage of people that are coming over, probably not even quantifiable, that are coming over here to infiltrate us and with malicious intent to sabotage and destroy the country. I do not see any evidence for that being the case, but that is the overwhelming narrative, and that is what the right mean when they use the phrase Islamist. They mean like Islamic extremists who want to come over and completely take over the country, make us all Muslims or kill the ones that aren't. There's just no evidence for that. Like, show me the evidence.
A recent survey found that nearly half of all British people now feel like a stranger in their own country. In this book, I reveal the story that they don't want you to hear, the facts that they push aside, the information they don't want you to have while they accuse you of suffering from misinformation. I will tell you the truth, what is really happening in this country. But this is not a book about...
They always use Axel Rudikabana, who was born in this country. Yes, they then make the argument that, well, culturally he's of this demographic. I don't even know if he was Muslim. I don't think there was any evidence that he was a Muslim. So yes, he was one twisted individual that committed horrific acts and has been put into prison for it. The fact that he wasn't white is why they highlight him. But there are so many examples, not only of, other white people that do these horrendous crimes, but also of brown and black people that are not Muslim, or even if they are Muslim. There's no way that you can determine that it's because of their heritage that they commit these crimes. That is not a correlation. Causation does not equal correlation, or correlation doesn't equal causation. Either way, what I'm trying to say is that Axel Rudikabana as one individual is not a example of what Muslims are like in this country. It's not representative. You can't do that. It's anecdotal evidence.
It is a book about clarity, courage, and the belief that a nation is so much more than a set of documents and what you see on your passport. A nation is our home, characterized by a shared identity, history, and culture. A home that was built by our ancestors who trusted us to protect it and preserve it. I didn't write this book for the politicians or the pundits. I wrote it for you, the forgotten majority of people in this country who can feel something incredibly important is slipping away, yet who refuse to give up on the country they love. In this book, I want to do my bit in telling you what we can do about this and how we can change course and how we can keep the country that we know and we love. You can find a link to this book underneath this video. I hope you...
Absolutely not. But yeah, he's trying to appeal to the retired white class that are like, oh yes, I remember post-war Britain. I remember how good it was. Yes, we need to get rid of all the brown people because they're the ones causing the issues in this country. When the politicians pander to the elderly generation, the boomers, because they're the ones that are more likely to vote and they come out en masse to vote. So they have been massively prioritized in our, in our political system for decades. So they have it better off than anybody else does. We, as millennials and Gen Z, we feel the bite of the economic system more than the boomers do. We're living in it. We're trying to work in this environment, and it's only getting worse. And not for a minute do I think that Muslims or immigrants, whether have any kind of impact on that. Yes, I think that the total immigration should be lower than it is. I do think that it's partially, it's too much at the moment. Not because I don't want brown people here, because that's ridiculous, but because the level that are coming in the last sort of 5 years, part of the Boris wave, it's just really difficult to process and then sustain them once they're here. Yes, once they're then working and they're paying taxes back, they're a net positive to our society. But to get to that point is incredibly arduous, and it takes a long time. The application process is way too long. But Matt Goodwin disagrees with me. He thinks you remove the Muslims and the Islamists from the country, suddenly we're back to 70s England and everything's better again. It's superficial, it's aesthetic, and most importantly, it's wrong. But yeah, I have a feeling we're not going to have seen the end of Matt Goodwin. He will reappear again. I will see when the book comes out and people do videos on it if there's highlights of the book to go over. But yeah, he's not going anywhere. So if you like this one, please give the video a like, subscribe, as I am at about 50 subs now, just shy, on the road to 100. We're going to grow this community. I eventually want to do live streams. That's something I'm thinking about doing in the future once I get a big enough audience. And yeah, I just want to hear from people. I want to talk to people. I want to debate people. I want to grow this channel and use it as a voice for the left in the UK. So yeah, leave a comment what you think about Matt Goodwin, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.